On this episode, we're answering the top dental SEO questions. Dun, 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 dun. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the 88 Dental Marketing Show. This is the only dental show that's answering marketing's most important questions. That's what we do. That's why we're here, making your marketing life easy. Got a great show this week. This is actually episode number 54. 54. It was interesting. I read a Esquire magazine one time when they were interviewing rap artist 50 Cent, and they said, hey, before we get started, we got to know one thing. Is it 50 or 50? And he said, it's 50, which I thought was kind of surprising because I'm like, thug, Southside Chicago, like it's 50 Cent. This is episode 54. And it's a great episode. We are talking about Dentistry's top SEO questions. And before we get into the questions, what I want to kind of establish here from the start is when we're talking about SEO, it's really become a very broad topic. And people will talk about like, such and such company called me, my SEO is not good. And so before we even start into those questions, I think what we have to understand is that there's 3 types of SEO. And dude, do you care if I draw this?
Dude, bring it over.
Huh? It's happening right now. So welcome to the very sophisticated whiteboard post-it note here. So when we're talking about SEO, usually the problem I'm finding is the breakdown happens right at the start because you have to define what it is that you're talking about. There are 3 different types of SEO. And SEO, search engine optimization. So it's what Google returns when you search for something. And so there's really 3 different parts to that page. The first one is paid. The very first thing you see at the top of a Google search, paid ads. So when we're talking about SEO strategy, what's our strategy with paid ads? Or a company's approaching you and they're talking about it. Is this what they're talking about? Probably the main strategy there for paid is really just be at the top. Google's gotten rid of the left-hand or the right-hand column now. So they've got the top and the bottom. Man, my approach is if you're going to spend money on ads, get at the top, get seen right from the start. Second is local. So right underneath the paid ads becomes the local block. And we all know that it's associated with the reviews and it's whatever's around you and they've got the map, but that's an SEO strategy. And so that one, probably the biggest piece of advice I can give you, reviews make a huge difference. Even if Google says it doesn't rank you higher, and even if it doesn't, you just having a ton of reviews over the competition makes that decision very compelling. And then number 3 is the organic listings. And so we know when we search Google, we get ads at the top, local next, and then the organic listings underneath. And that's where your website comes up. If people are contacting you saying your SEO is not good, that's probably what they're talking about. But on today's show, we're gonna kind of clarify all these, answer the most common questions around them, and help you really define your SEO strategy. So obviously the conversation of SEO is probably one of the most complicated when it comes to marketing. Here are some of the top questions I've gotten just over the past weeks.
I get letters in the mail and phone calls from companies saying they can help my SEO. Should I do it?
I see this a lot, and there's definitely a whole telemarketing business behind this. But I put this into the category of just kind of general life rules, right? Like, don't hit reply all on an email unless you absolutely have to. Don't text in all caps. And certainly don't give anybody money over the phone or by email, especially when it comes to your Google listing. And so part of it is like, just back up and think about this. Like, they found you and they contacted you. Just by that very nature, you may not even have a problem with your SEO. They just want to scare you into thinking you do so that you sign up with them and they can make money. Avoid it, ignore it, move on.
When I search dentist in one town, I'm not on the front page. When I search dentist in another town, 3 other practices are above me. What do I need to do to fix it?
Yeah, so I mean, probably one of our most common questions we get, and to give you a little background on this practice, they're in one type of city, but this area is also referred to by the county as well. And so when he searches by the county, he's not coming up, but when he searches by the city, there's 3 other practices ahead of him. As a general rule, when it comes to SEO, you can only SEO or optimize your search for one thing, okay? So pick your one thing, optimize for that, SEO for that, and then you have to figure out different strategies for other topics. And so the moment you try to go, well, I'm a dentist in such and such city, but I also want to try and hit this city, and we're stuffing all these keywords into the website and the titling, Google sees that. It's just becoming less and less effective as time goes on. And from Google's standpoint, their attitude is, well, you can only be in one spot. And so a lot of times people are stuck, like their technical address is in one city, but they want to be optimized for this other city that's 15 minutes away because that's where the population is. And I get that, I understand that, and we can talk about strategies there, but Google is going to look at it and say, yeah, but you're here. You're in X town, you're not over here in Y city. And so they're gonna make it difficult because they feel like you're trying to game the system, and in a sense, you kind of are. So that's kind of the rule when it comes to SEO. You've got one thing. When it comes to services, I mean, I see this sometimes too, is it's general dentist, but it's also implant specialist. And we're trying to SEO for both. And it just becomes very difficult. And I think in the end, you most likely end up diluting both of those searches. And so as a general rule, optimize for one search and then figure out another strategy to handle other services and other locations.
How much should I be spending on SEO?
So a really good question. Probably, outside of like, hey, I'm not coming up first on the page. This is probably second question is here's what I'm spending. Is this too much? The industry standard in the dental industry is somewhere between $250 a month to $2,500 a month. And I regularly see companies or websites in between, packages in between that spread. So that being said, I think a very comfortable spot from my perspective, looking at it from a professional in the industry, is going to be somewhere between $500 and $1,000 a month. I feel like you're getting a good value there. I feel like people are probably working for you. The problem with if a company is doing an SEO package at $250 a month or less, I can almost guarantee you they're just not doing much. I mean, I would almost be like questioning what they're doing. They're probably just monitoring some stuff once a year. I don't know. I don't know that much is happening there. And then once you get above $1,000, then I want to know too, like, well, what's happening? Is that including blog posts? Is it including social media content? What's really happening there to make that price so high and to justify that investment? And so 500 to 1,000, I think you're in a really sweet spot, and that's what you should look for.
We used to be on the front page, but have dropped. I even switched SEO companies, and it's only marginally improved. What do you suggest?
And so, again, another frequent question. You're seeing SEO continue to decline and decline. You were at the top or first page, and now maybe you're at the bottom or you're on the second page, and you're noticing this fall from the top, right? And what I would tell you is your SEO tactics most likely are not the problem in a situation like this. And so any SEO company that comes along, they can promise you lots of stuff. I don't know that they're gonna change it, because I think what you have to look at is some other factors that are affecting it. And honestly, when it comes to your website, an outside SEO company or a detached SEO company is only going to be able to do so much. What you need is a website company that understands SEO and can build the site with that in mind. And so if you've continued to slip off of the top page and other SEO companies have come in and haven't been able to help it, I tell you, you probably have some other issues going on there. You could have an old site. You might be on a 5, 6, 7-year-old site, and we're maybe trying to patch the problems without really solving it, and Google knows that. The site could be a template that is literally in 1,800 other sites across the country. The site may not be mobile friendly. And so while it's not detrimental at first, we're starting to see those slightly decrease in Google's rankings. And so if that's the case and you're in that position, man, I doubt that it's the SEO tactics and the strategies, and I think it probably comes back to your site. Guys, hopefully that answers some of your most common SEO questions. My question for you for this episode, what is your SEO strategy? And is it time for an audit? So maybe take an opportunity, look back over what's happening with your website, your presence on Google, make some adjustments, call some different people, get some advice, and move from there. Guys, that wraps up episode 54. Thanks so much for being a part of it. Hopefully this answers some of your SEO questions. Outside of that, the September article is up. It's a good one. It's called Upside Down: What Happens When We Turn Marketing Upside Down and Changing the Way People See Things. I think it's massively relevant in the dental industry. The link to that is down below. Make sure you read that. Leave me some comments. Would love to know what you think. Guys, until next time, I will see you on episode 55. That's the way it happens in my head.